Hey everyone, it's Joe again. Welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I quickly want to talk about codependency and boundaries and talk about why you might have become a codependent and why you have issues setting boundaries. This is something that I still struggle with. Like I have mentioned in other videos, I'm not 100%. This is why I decided to document this stuff, and I feel like it could be helpful to other people. Like I am not trying to pretend like I have other answers because I'm still struggling with this stuff myself. I can honestly say that I have overcome a lot at this point. If I hadn't overcome a lot, I wouldn't even be able to sit here and make this video. Because a couple of years back, I was just really, I was completely different. In the sense of the word, I did not possess as much knowledge that I have now. And I know it's crazy, but I have to say that having gone through all of this has been good and bad. But I say that at the same time, it has given me a lot of knowledge about myself, about the world, about trauma that has been going on and being passed around from generation to generation. And I honestly feel blessed. I know it sounds crazy. I honestly feel blessed. Why? Because out of how many people in my family that are alive, I'm the one that's really submerged into healing, into really breaking the cycle. And I feel like I'm the one that was born to break the cycle. Because it's one thing to just separate yourself from dysfunctional homes or narcissistic parents, and it's another different thing when you're actually trying to find out, discover yourself, heal yourself, find out why these patterns came around your family, so that the dysfunction and those toxic behaviors can end with you, so that you will not continue to just repeat the cycle into the newer generation that's going to come up. So I want to talk about codependency because I feel like I'm kind of understanding why I became a codependent. I don't feel like I'm as codependent. I still have issues with boundaries, setting up boundaries, because I'm still learning. I'm still in the process of healing. Like I said, I'm not 100%. I'm not a guru. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to talk to people from my own healing journey to perhaps help somebody that's haven't gotten to the point that I am yet, and to help others that are at the same point that I am at this present moment. So I feel like the reason as to why I became a codependent and as to why you might have become a codependent, I wrote some things down in a notebook here, is because when you have narcissistic parents, sometimes even some of these narcissistic parents, their needs were not even met in childhood, right? So they have you, the child, and they expect you as the child to fulfill those needs for them. Okay. However, you're not capable of doing that because you are a child, and you have your own needs that need to be met by your own parents, but they aren't able to do so, right? So I don't know if this is the case with some of you guys, but I feel like this is gonna make total sense. The reason why I feel like I became a codependent is because I put the feelings of my parents above mine. I worry more about them than they worried about me, because of the fact that they were incapable of giving me unconditional love, right? And as a child, you don't understand these things. Your parents are supposed to love you unconditionally, especially your mother who had you for 9 months in her stomach. This is, biology. You're supposed to reflect goodness back to the child. You're supposed to look at your child for love. And when that doesn't happen, why? When that doesn't happen, as a child, you start to question yourself, okay, what's this going on? Why is my parent not loving me? Why is my parent not spending time with me? So you start to internalize those issues, and you start thinking that there's something wrong with you. And that's where shame is brought up. And that's when you start having issues with self-esteem. You start thinking there's something wrong with you. You start thinking you're unworthy. You start thinking you're unlovable, right? And so you start doing things to see if by you doing things that you think your parents want you to do, or to become whatever it is that your parents want you to become, because then you feel like if I do X, Y, and Z, if I behave this way, they're gonna have to love me. they're gonna have to love me. And so this is how you start to become a codependent. Why? Because your parents present themselves, especially the narcissist, as if they're God. You know, everything that they say is a fact. You cannot question them. You cannot question authority. They bring you up in a way where discipline is not really stable. It could be overly rigid or it could be very relaxing. You grow up confused. They send you mixed messages, mixed signals. You don't know what to expect. One minute everything is calm, the next minute they're raging. The next minute they act like they care about you. They take you to the hospital because you're sick. The next minute they're calling you a type of names, but a child of God. So you as a child, you're confused. So you don't know what's going on. So you start thinking, there's something wrong with me. I am bad. I am deficient because I see this other little girl who has their parents and their parents are being loving and kind to her. It must be that she's prettier than me. It must be that she's a better child than me. So you start thinking all this nonsense, right? And then again, you start putting people on some kind of pedestal. You start putting your parents on some kind of pedestal because you want them so bad to love you. And this is how you start seeking validation from other people. This is how you start people pleasing. Okay? And this is how you probably became a codependent. Because codependent, they worry a lot about other people. They want to be accepted. They want to be liked. They want to be loved. And even sometimes, wanting to be adored or whatever, which are also traits of narcissists, except that you're not really being malicious. You're just, you picked up on the traits of your environment or whatever. So yeah, so you put your parents' needs above yours because that's what they wanted you to do, because they want you to supply that to them, but it's impossible because you're still a child. And so your parents have arrested development. Whatever trauma they went to, they're still stuck on that age, even though they are adults. They basically are a child mimicking adult life. It's a quote that I have read on Google. And so this is why you become a codependent, and also you lack self-love. How could you possibly have self-love and self-esteem when your parents never reflected that? They never put that into you. If you were raised by well-adjusted parents, most likely you will grow up being a well-adjusted individual. When you grow up with people who don't love themselves, who have shamed themselves, they shame you, and so you grow up with the same shame, you grow up with the same issues, and then you also repeat some of that cycle. So that is my theory as to how you became a codependent, as to how I believe strongly that I became a codependent. Okay, so I hope this helps.